Right, let's go. I'm ready as ever. Well, as ready as I'm gonna be. Hi guys, who you got here? Got Andy, Princeface, Axel, Osorio. Welcome guys. Sure, Twitch have different servers for media player than PCs. It's always 30 seconds behind here. Hi Microman, welcome to the stream. Everyone's quiet tonight, probably still on Twitches. Yeah, I mean, he's streaming C64 and I'm sure that's most people's choice. That's why I wouldn't do a C64 stream on the night that Chiz streams, only Game Boy. So I'm drinking wine again, because apparently the lockdown means that I can just drink wine on any day of the week now. So why not? If for a good time, not a long time. Yeah, these weekday streams are only 2.5 hours, 3 hours long anyway. He's playing a text adventure. Oh yeah, because he did his arming, didn't he? I wonder if he's got that checked out. It sounded quite bad. I'm already topping it up. I quite like this wine. It's got kind of a cheap wine, but it will get delivered to your house through Deliveroo, so... Okay, so... I just need to remind myself where we were at. I feel like that's not the right... I think it's that one. Actually, no, I've got a command for it, haven't I? There we go. Ah, yeah, okay, so... we animated the waterfall, that's right. It doesn't look too bad. I still think there's some work to be done on that, but... what I wanted to do tonight was look at the raster interrupt, because I still think I can get that working. At the moment, this is all doing it down in VBlank here. Or it's actually, I want to do it in this HUD area here. Hey Acmafin, welcome to the stream, dude. Coding is better than playing. Yeah, I think so. I'm not a big fan of playing games on stream, to be honest. It's just a chance for everybody to judge me. Okay, so what I found out, let me bring up, so we can find this now, but I can't. So what I found was that we were turning on the LCD stat interrupt. Eating a bagel. Oh, the worst day of fishing is better than the best day of work. Okay. We were turning on the LCD stat interrupts, but we weren't turning on any of these. Oops, these top 4 bits here. Actually, bits 3 to 6. It looks like bit 7 isn't used, and I think this is where we actually need to turn one of these on. I think it's this one. I think it's bit 6 here, because we're looking for an exact line that we want to run on. So I think it's this bit 6 that we need to address. So I'm going to leave this code as it is for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to first of all experiment and see if I can get that working on a particular line. So I'm going to turn off all the things I don't need. VRAM updates, I'll keep that open because I'm going to edit that. Map, I don't need. Interrupts, this is what I want here. Hey Steps. Eating a bagel and watching coding is even better. I'm starting to really miss meat at the moment. I keep getting hankerings for, like Andy was talking about KFC the other day, and I just made me really badly want a massive bucket of chicken. I actually ended up ordering, it was called Chick-N, which is some weird chicken substitute. So, and it was, I mean, it wasn't chicken, that's for sure. It was disappointing, to say the least. It's called this. and it's like some fake chicken thing. So I got some like weird chicken nugget stuff, and it was quite disappointing. Let's turn that camera. It should be a bit higher. There we go. Yeah, some weird protein crap. It wasn't meat protein though, it was some plant protein. And I think I've probably tasted every vegetarian sausage you can buy now. Some of them are pretty good, but some of them are massively disappointing. Okay, so interrupts. I think we're going to need the initialize as well. So I wish you could resize these, but you can't. Init palette, init interrupts. Here we go. So I think in LCD stat, which is this one here, yeah, see, look, we're setting these bits to 0. I think that needs setting there. Actually, no, not that one. Enable LCD stat and vblank interrupts. So I think I need to do. Oh my god, what's it called now? I want to use the right one, but I could do LCDC. Okay, I could do with actually knowing the labels. So I need to load that value. Then I believe I can do this to turn that bit on, and then store that back in. And this sets the line number here. So I think that's why I was missing these 3 lines of code. So oh, do you type LDA? Oh wait, it's Tuesday. Yeah. I should confuse matters a little bit more and do another stream where I do 68,000 as well. Another one I don't know. So bacon, veggie eater, meat, protein. Yeah. I've yet to find anything that tastes even remotely like bacon, so that's a little bit disappointing. I did try and make a carbonara the other day, and I used tofu, and I fried the crap out of it so it was crispy, and used maple syrup to try and make it taste a bit kind of closer to bacon, but it was very disappointing. Thank you for the follow, Venald. Welcome to the stream, dude. Yeah, ST stream. No, it wouldn't be ST. If I was going to do it, it would definitely be... it wouldn't even be Amiga. I think I'd probably do one of the consoles. I'm not sure which ones used 68,000. I think the Mega Drive did, didn't it? I think the Mega Drive did. Or am I imagining that? If it was going to be a home computer, it definitely would be Amiga. But I think I would want to try the Mega Drive, to be honest. Let me know if the music's too loud, guys, because it sounds like it's not normalized at all. Okay, so this is going to enable it on that line, I think. So if I go in here now, it should be doing that scroll thing. So, oh, you're not hearing the music. Don't give me that. Is it because I'm much louder now? There we go. It's a bit louder. It's kind of annoying. I don't really want to not have music, because I think it's nice. It fills out the gaps when I'm just sat here scratching my head. So wow, I was just seeing myself on there, and this beard is getting huge now. I think I might have to give this a trim at some point. I had to trim around my mouth the other day. It was getting so long, and I was just I was waking up in the middle of the night chewing on my mustache. So let's give this a try, hopefully. Okay, I'm not seeing a split in the middle though. And I would have expected this to have been called here, so let's have a look in debugger. I've really got to figure out what is going on here. Okay, so this is V-blank LCD. It's this one, isn't it? LCD state interrupt is this one here. Oh, damn it. I'm kind of annoyed if I can't get this working. I have to get this working tonight. Yeah, it's skipping over that one. So I did the other piece of work. So I prepared. Oh, I've only got one window open. So I had two windows open. How will I know? So I've set the X scroll to shift the map over halfway down the screen. So we're setting it back to 0 in the V blank, and I'm just shifting it over halfway. So we should see a kind of a split in the middle somewhere, because there's no border color to change, which is a bit annoying. I guess I could change a palette halfway down or something, but for now I'm just gonna get used to this. So I made this change to here, so you can click on anything and switch it like so, and it'll update the tiles as well. So if I switch these two over, you can see the tile remains the same, and this allows me to very quickly move these things down to the bottom here. So when I get this working with the V blank, I will not with the V blank, sorry, with the LCD stat, and then I will move all of this down, all of the DRAM copy down to this area instead. So all VRAM changes will happen on the very next line immediately. There's no the fetch is per line, it's not per character block like on the C64. So on the C64 it only fetches on bad lines, so that the fetch happens on an 8-line cycle, but on the Game Boy it happens off screen to the left, so kind of in the left border if you like, even though you don't really see a border. So what I'm trying to do is change it. Actually, it doesn't matter where you change the scroll value. The scroll value will always happen on the next line, regardless of where you change. It's one of the values you can change anywhere. But if we were to change colours, we would have to do that in the border. If the colour change will work till the next. Oh. It's funny that, because I read the word colour there perfectly fine, but the wood, I couldn't work out what was going on there. Okay, so I think I just need to be sure that value is being set. So I have a funny feeling that the initialization code is overwriting that. So I'm just going to go and have a look. FF41. So it's down here somewhere. It's just this one, 81. Yes, it's not being set correctly. Okay, so that's probably because in the initialize, we initialize the interrupts here, but there is an LCD screen off. Oh no, it's not that one. Where was it? It's an FF41, or there's another one of these somewhere. Not in there. It's in here. It's not in here. Okay. do vaguely remember setting this finally somewhere else. Okay, let's look for FF4. Yeah, okay, so we're reading a value from here. We're not actually setting it. This is what's turning the LCD on and off. And sets the screen up. I think it's because before I really learned to spell properly, I was coding. So for me, most of the English words that I learned to spell came from coding. So if it was in coding, like the word center or color, then I spell it the American way. Okay, so I'm a bit worried why that piece of code isn't actually doing anything. So I'm just gonna move this into here for a split second, just to see if I change it in here, does it actually turn on that CD start interrupt again? Maybe you have to turn it on each time. Maybe it just does one and then turns off. No. I really didn't. I was hoping this would just work. I didn't really want to spend too long doing this. I wanted to work on other things. So if I change that to that sets bit 6. Okay, that's annoying. So it does turn on that interrupt. You see how it's shifted over now. Yeah, the BBC Micro does spell color properly, and I did learn my coding on a BBC Micro. But I very quickly moved from BBC Micro to other systems and other languages. Oh, okay, so this is really frustrating, because this looks like it's kind of working, but only when I set it directly down here. Okay, maybe I have to just... Maybe OR init's not the right thing to do here. Although I can't see why that wouldn't work. Just double check that LCDC is the right file. LCDC, yes. Okay. So let's try setting that manually in initialize. Source loads. Accumulator. It's C1. Screen updates only works on the vertical blank unless you disable and enable the screen. Yes, however, this LCD stat value should work, was my understanding, because it's not. This is in HiRAM. This is not actually directly anything to do with the screen, but it doesn't seem to be enabling it. So. However, the moment I do it in here, it's fine. Maybe it is because the screen is off. Maybe. So let's take what Andy said into account, and let's have a look down here. So in interrupts, but you see, we're not doing anything. Let's try enabling it here. No. you can see the moment I go and edit that directly, it's like something else is writing this value. Because if I change it and then run, see it's shifted over. So why does that suddenly work at that point? Why, when I change it manually, does it work? But is my Z80 correct here? This is loading a value into the accumulator and storing that at this location. I can't see how that can be anything other than what I'm telling it to do. Okay, let's put it into the main loop instead. Don't want to have to change this on the main loop, but let's try and work out why it's not loading that value. Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe we do need to turn the LCD off at this point. So let's go with that that theory. Let's put the old code back in. And it interrupts. Okay, so we do have in, where was it? Not in the RAM. Was it in initialize? Yeah, it was in here, wasn't it? Wait for V blank, disable screen, enable screen. Disable screen, enable screen. Okay, let's give that a try. Let's try. No, still not doing it. Let's have a quick read about that value. So this is read and write. So I should be able to set this. Nothing. Yeah, enable interrupts. So this isn't anything to do with this. What I find really frustrating here is if I just randomly go and set that value, it's fine. Let's try just putting that value, or in that, turning that flag on once every time it goes into this loop. And let's do it only when the frame ready flag is. Let's do it there. No, exactly the same. And yet, the moment I go into the debugger and change that value, see how the value is wrong? 8.1. Remember, I changed it to C1 and run. Everything works. Yes, there is. That's what this is here. Again, I should probably be using the hardware value. Let's see if I can find the hardware value for that. Interrupt enable, IE. Of course. IE, okay. Yeah, cool. Maybe I have to do it after that or something. See why that would matter. It's not working if I do it here, that's the worrying thing. This is where I would kill to have a Gameboy Color expert on the chat. Let's close all these windows. I've got too many open. Yeah. So what is different when I go into the debugger? The game is paused. Am I not able to write this value? Is that what it is? Do I have to do something else to be able to write in this area? Because just immediately when I change that, it works. And it continues to work, which is the frustrating thing here. I'm just wondering if I can only write to this area at a specific time. On Switch, yeah, not in IO RAM though. IO is always going to be IO RAM. This doesn't change. I did think that. Well, I mean, if we were to write a different value, so for instance, there is this scroll X and scroll Y. So if I was to change that in here, so if I accumulate it with scroll X, can I just add a number to this now? Oh, because it's setting back to 0 every time, that's why. So if I go in my interrupts, turn that off. Gee, that's fine. So I can definitely write into that area. Yeah, I've seen quite a few 6502 opcodes. I should start documenting. Actually, we should make a little. Maybe I'll make a Discord room for opcodes in the wild. It's nearly always license plates as well, but you do see some other places as well. And yeah, they do just stick out. You're so used to writing them day in, day out that you just kind of see them. Okay, so we can definitely change values in this area. But for some reason, just doing this isn't enough to... So is that bit 6? Yeah. 2, 3. That should... Wait. That's LCD control. That's not the right one. That's why. See, this is why it gets confusing. So it's not that one I want at all. So this is just me being stupid. It's FF41, which is R stat. Okay. So I was right all along. Just changing the wrong values, that's all. So I'll get rid of that one in there. And pick this one back. Okay, so just to confirm, we're turning that bit on in our stat. See, this is why. See, if I'd have been using that, I would have spotted it straight away. but because I was using that, I didn't spot it. I have to hover over it to spot it. So I'm kind of torn whether or not the labels are helpful or not. They didn't help me there at all. I'm pretty sure this is going to work now. There you go. Works. Oh, for God's sake. Right, okay. Yeah, that's really irritating. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start the H blank DMA in this area now instead of where we're doing it down here. The reason I'm going to start here is I want to see if there is a definite split where this line is in the characters moving, and then if there is, I'm going to move it down to the HUD area. Then I might actually drop the HUD in, so we can actually see more there. And then if we've got time, I'll start looking at building the rest of the animations. So we need the water to kind of move across the splash in the water to kind of animate. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. And the torches to move, and the bricks to flicker in the background. Oh, I can't believe it was that all along. This is what happens when you don't know the hardware. Okay, cool. So with that in mind, I can get rid of the initialize now. Don't need that. I'm going to keep hardware in open because I think I kind of need to look at that now and again. Let's have a look at the interrupts. So it's this shadow ROM copy, which now I'm going to move into here instead. I'm going to get rid of it. In fact, I am going to keep that split there just for now because it's easy to call it. And I want to see what happens if I try and call the DMA in this side. I think it's probably going to do weird stuff now. Yeah, see how the DMA failed for some of it. So it's not moving those ones now, and that's because it can't actually update the RAM at that point, so it's not actually copying all the data. Shannon's is CR34 TRS. But that would imply that I bought my car in the future. Or a private number plate, I guess, yeah. Okay, cool. So I definitely like using this scroll thing to work out if we're in the right place. So I'm going to leave those in. I'm probably just going to comment them out. Oops. Just check that. So we need to change this char anim copy, which is going to be this is the anime, so it's this bit here, DMA. Okay, so first thing to do is import the new data in. So we're going to use the data from here, and this is obviously going to change the location of these animations. Deal with that in a minute. So let's export all. Just Cosmos assets. Folder. Now, I'm pretty sure when I run this now, it's going to look weird in some places. See, that kind of worked. Oh, right, yeah. So it's working because the tiles are all copied, but the animations are no longer working because those are in different places. So waterfall char set destination 1 and destination 2. Okay, so we need to get the locations of these characters, which are all now going to be roughly the same place. So where do we bank these in? Timeout.chr. So this is where it comes in. Romex bank 1. So it's at 8,000. I need to bring my calculator up. I can't think in 2 bits per pixel anymore. A60. Oops. A60 divided by A6. That was 166 in the map, which was around about here somewhere. Yeah. So now we need to change that to 241, 242. 241, 241. So that's 16. F10. So this is going to be F10. And this is going to be F20. And this is the destination here. So F10, F20. And we need to do the same. Wait, hang on. Font tiles. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so this should bring us back to where we were before. Then we need to update the. Yep, okay. So now we just need to update the DMA to work properly. One is white and the other is yellow. Weird here. White in front, yellow on back. Seeing which direction the car is going. Yellow in front, brown. Oh god. So the red tail light was a telltale sign. Yeah, they are very bright at all. Ah, okay. I never thought of that actually. Yeah, that's probably what it is about, isn't it? It's to stop people. Yeah, that makes sense actually. People kind of stealing number plates and then use them, but then just steal 2 number plates instead of stealing 1. Yeah, I have thought British number plates have always been a little bit strange. Especially when you look at the rest of Europe and they're all kind of the same. But of course we have to be different. That's why we drive on the wrong side of the road as well. Okay, so this is initializing it. This is doing our copy. It's this bit here we need to change. So at the moment this is doing 2 separate copies. Now I've moved everything down into this area here. So I'm actually going to copy this entire row here. I probably don't need to do the entire row, but I'm going to anyway, because I think it's going to kind of make sense when we start animating more stuff. And I want to see how much time this takes anyway in the bottom row. So it shouldn't take that long actually. So we're going to start with, how do we do this now? So I've got to remember how this works now. So we take waterfall, which is the data in RAM here. Okay, we'll have to do a bit at a time because I think we need to adjust this. Actually, let's actually do the adjustment in here. So let's actually create all the kind of things we need in here. So this is 16 bytes. Let's call this shadow font foundations. Just call this mist tones here for now. The actual animations on at some point. Don't think I can do that, so it's fine. So we need 13, 16. Okay, so this gives us a whole block of 256 bytes that we want to copy, which is going to take 256, I think. It's actually because it's illegal to have a white light on the back of a car, so they're yellow. Oh. Why is it? Yeah, why is it illegal to have a white light on the back? I only found out the other day as well, and I didn't know this. Mind you, I don't drive, so this is why I don't know. But you know, the interior light, it's illegal to have that on as well while you're moving. You can have it on at the traffic lights, but if you begin to move, if the car's in motion, you're not allowed to have that light on. I don't know why. I guess it impairs your view a little bit. But yeah, I don't drive, so that's why I don't know anything about these things. In all these years, I've never needed to drive, so. Reflection. Yeah, I guess it's gonna obscure your view through the windshield, so. So we're going to take the shadow font on animations, and the destination is not going to be this, but we're going to let's create a new destination up there. Let's call it shadow font destination. Now, luckily, there is no animation in the other mode, which is something I want to do soon. So probably on the next stream, if I can get the character set drawn in time, or maybe I'll do the drawing on the stream as well. I'm going to do the old timeline as well. So with this version of the game, with the Game Boy Color, it is going to turn to Petsky. But it's going to also change the palette to the original Game Boy palette, which should be kind of cool. I think should look kind of nice, but we need to keep the original Petsky thing because I think that's kind of part of what that's about. And actually, if you look at old graphics on the old Game Boy, they're not that different to the Game Boy Color. It's just that the Game Boy Color has color, so we're just going to go for Petsky. Yeah, Petsky on the Game Boy Color, indeed. Yeah. So arbitrary and outdated, given anybody can be watching a film on their tablet in the back. Yeah, exactly. It is weird, and you see the cars with the DVD players in the back of the seats as well for the kids in the back. And obviously, if both children are watching something on them, then that's quite a lot of light that's going on in the back of the car. Quite distracting light as well. I mean, with at least with the interior light, it's static. It's not flicking around. But if you put some kind of crazy high action cartoon on, that's going to be a Akmafin back to his best. Okay, shadow font destination. So this now just needs to copy. Not sure what that is. Oh no, this is the animation. This one here. Okay, I think this is the count, and this is the destination. It counts in blocks of 16, so it's the number of 16 byte blocks minus 1. We want 16, so this needs to be 15. So this needs to be like that. So this should copy the entire block over, and we no longer need to wait for it to complete either. But I am going to wait for it to complete for now, just so I can put up here. Sorry, not there. In here. This glitch again. So I'm just going to put this in just to see how long it takes. Okay, so it's not copying. Okay, two things. Firstly, I've not seen the glitch anywhere. It should be happening in the middle of the screen, and it's not. So either it's happening super, super fast, which is a possibility. So let's put that on. 256 cycles. Yeah, it could be happening really quickly, because I think we'd only probably see one line of glitch. Oh, because No, still not seeing any glitch anyway. Okay. I feel like the interrupt's not working again now. Also, this is anime. Why is this anime? Have I got an error somewhere? Maybe I've got an error. See, I need to fix this. These show up as errors. VRAM updates. Oh, there we go. Inconsistency in the build system. Alright, there you go. So that's working again. So let's turn these back on. Okay, so you can see it's working over what looks like just 2 lines. But notice how that copy isn't working at all. And I think that's because it's trying to write in the wrong places. It's trying to write during screen time. So it's going to fail. So what we need to do is we need to change the HDMI mode. Which is... which one is that? I think it's this one. Just go and have a look. So FF55. Indicates the transfer mode. H blank DMA is what we want. So bit 7. So we need to set that on there. So this is both the length of the transfer in the bottom 7 bytes, and the top byte is used to define the transfer mode. So that means we can transfer up to 32 kilobytes in 16-byte blocks by defining any of these 7 blocks here. Oh, see, it's taking a lot longer now. See, it's taking longer, but look how it is actually working properly now. Interesting. We do get some junk here, though. I don't know what that's about. I think that's to do with the character that we're copying. Is probably, yes, it's incorrect because of this area here. So we need to change the way this bit works. Because at the moment this is only these 2 things are being filled in. In fact, only this one is being filled in. So we need to fill all this data in with valid information so that we get all of these. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Which means also, I would guess that the this is the broken one. But you'll see on here the these flames will probably be wrong on this one as well. Still, that's working though. Yes, it is, and it looks like it's taking. I want to say 2, 3, 4 lines, which was it's about the right size for here, so it's kind of perfect. That is actually kind of perfect. That's cool. So we'll start this down here, and that means all our animated. So we can have up to 16 characters animated. We can animate them anywhere on the screen, but the actual copy is going to happen down here. So I'm going to move that down there in a second. So this is 80 on the screen. So if I just do that now, actually, the cool thing is as well is, as I explained last time, this HDMI copy, what it does is it only does the actual copying when the raster is in this area of the screen. When the raster moves into the visible screen, normal code can run. You can see the flames run here. Normal code can run, so that means that even though it looks like we're taking 4 character lines of space, not 4 character lines. How many is that actually? It's 2, isn't it? actually count. So 16 lines it's taken, 16 raster lines. It's exactly the same size as the HUD. So even though it's taking those 16 lines up, when the raster is actually in the middle of the screen, whatever code was running before will run. So it's like a separate, almost like a separate thread. Not quite, because it is either doing one or the other. But you can have that HTML running and it will pause code when it's in H blank, and when it's not in H blank it will resume the code, which means we still get a bit of time in here to do other stuff as well, which is kind of nice. Cool, so let's move. Hey Hayes, welcome to Stream Dude. Let's get, actually I'm gonna go for snow for a second. So what I need to do now is initialize that area correctly. So at the moment, the only thing that's happening is these two are being drawn. Everything else here is just random data, which we can probably see actually if we go into VRAM viewer here. Oh, this is the wrong one, isn't it? I've got too many of these open. Let me open a fresh one. Acmafin's trying to come up with many names instead of Petsky, because we are going to have Petsky in this. So there you go, you can see. So this is the shadow RAM that's copied, but it's being copied from that area that has nothing in it. So the only two that actually get written are these two here. So we'll fix that so they get written correctly. And then we'll move it down into the HUD area, and then I think I'll add some HUD stuff in. I think I actually put the HUD characters in. Yeah, so everything's here. So I'll just create another. Actually, no, I can't create another screen. Can I? I need to actually. Damn it! I actually need to work out the character numbers here and write these down. Or okay, I'll probably will do it as characters in here to get it on the screen. And then write it down just so I can see it. So, or I might do that. I might do that at a later date actually, because that seems like a long-winded approach to do something quite simple. Or I could load this into another editor and do that. So, all right, I'm going to take a quick break, guys. I'll be back in 4 or 5 minutes. Be right back. I'm back. Okay. So let's. What was I going to do now? Oh, going to move it down into this area first, and then change the copy. Well, let's change the copy and then move it down. So I'm impressed that only takes 16. So we're copying 256 bytes from one location into another, and it takes 16 lines to do that in, which is pretty quick considering it's only doing it in this area here. Quite pleased with that. Okay, let's move. So in this area here, so this is where we do the initialize, and it's this bit here. We need to copy full 256 bytes, so we compare B with 0, and the destination is shadow font animations. And we don't need the second link. That simplifies that code a bit. Oh no, that's done something really weird. It has copied a lot of stuff, but there seems to be some colours being used elsewhere. Let's have a look at are these in character? Yeah, these appear to be in blocks. Okay, so let's have a look at the data in here. Just make sure if I draw something in here, it doesn't appear elsewhere. That's what's important here. Okay, I'm not seeing that affect the tiles in any way, so let's just copy that anyway. Okay, so we're seeing... Where is it getting those from? That's the strange thing here. Am I copying too many bytes, maybe? Is this looping right round? (16 times 16 is 256, so this should be correct. Let me just copy half and see what happens. Yeah, okay, so it's to do with that last block for some reason. Well, possibly to do with the last one. Let's try. This could be an attribute copy problem. See what happens there. Okay, yeah, it's the very last one. I wonder if I put FF there, is it going to work? Okay, yeah, that works. So what's actually happening there? Why is that failing if I do more? So if I just do one more, it fails. That's the loop all the way back round again. And it fails because this is a space character, and I think it's copying palette information into that space character for tile data. And I'm betting our tile data was directly after it. Oh no, it's in bank 2. Okay. No creatures 3. God damn it. God, it's so fucking warm in here. Okay, why would that be different? So, load something from the font, store it to here. Increase both of these. Why is the very last byte? The very last byte seems to be problematic. Because that works fine. Let's try something. Let's just try. Let's try moving that to here. Is that the right one? No, it's not the right one, is it? Is it that one? Yeah, it's that one. Okay. So I'm going to move this flame into the last slot. I just want to see what's happening. I don't understand why that last byte is incorrect. Hey, old school coder, welcome to the stream, dude. See, that flame looks to have copied correctly as well. So I'm... Okay, so that's fine. Put that back there. The question is, why does this loop overrun. Why does it copy one more? Increment B. So I'm trying to make sure that this only runs 256 times. This is the initialization. And actually, that's another point. Why would this be wrong? Because it would only affect this frame timer here. Okay, I'm not sure why this works, but it does seem to work, and it does seem to copy everything. I'm unsure why, but it does seem to be working, so let's just leave it be for now. Okay, so build thing in here. So this is the RAM area that we're going to use for the shadow front animations. That seems to be working fine, except for the initialization. For some reason, if I copy one too many bytes, I get weird glitches. I don't know why that is. It makes no sense to me, unless it's because it's in screen. No, it wouldn't, because it's in screen area either. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 1648, 256. Yeah, okay, so 48, 208, 204, 206. Yeah, okay. Okay, now let's move that interrupt down to the bottom of the screen. So get rid of these. Don't need these again. These are just kind of the equivalent of doing the border color changes on the C64. I'll leave them there commented out because they're useful to just turn on if I want to know what's taking the time. And in initialize, which I don't have open anymore, change this line to 80. And now that should happen at the bottom of the screen. And we shouldn't see any glitches anywhere on the screen. Okay, cool. So this is all working now, and this is happening in this area here. So in the HUD area, but off to the side. So I think I am going to do the HUD now, which means I need to find YYCHR. We'll do it through that, which apparently I don't have open anywhere. I think I can do it in this one. File. Open, maybe. CHR file. Okay, .cosmos. Export tarmap CHR. There we go. I need to turn it into Game Boy format. There we go. So this is one. No, this isn't one screen. This is. What is this? Like, how do I zoom out? Oh my god. Hang on, is it the other version I need? I know there were two versions of this, so. I think this is the one. Oops. Okay, and we need. Where is the screen mode now? this is the one. Okay, cool. Hi Zork. Yeah, this is such a horrible program. But it's going to be the quickest way for me to get this data, unfortunately. So let me just... I do have a screen cap of the screen somewhere. So this is what I want it to look like. So let's go with that. So dock on Nesweb. It's a possibility. It is a possibility. 6502 as well. It'd be a very easy port, I'd imagine. There's no scrolling in it. The only thing that would be difficult to do would be the transition, because I don't think, and Zork can probably, yeah, it can be convenient. That's why I'm using it now, just because the tool I've written is just for meta tile arrangement, and I don't want to use, I don't want to have to make a load of tiles to draw my HUD. So I'm just going to draw it in here and then export that data. It's probably going to be the easiest way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the NES doesn't have line-based raster interrupts, so I don't think I'd be able to do the same effects that... Does this CPU have DJNZ? I don't even know what that is, Andy. I'm going to say no. But I am guessing that the NES still has those weird PPU... It's a mapper with a scanline counter. Okay. Oh god, yeah, see. That sounds like painful. So I think what I would hate on the NES, and again, I don't really know, I'm taking some guesses based on what little I do know of the hardware, is still having the kind of weird H-blank restrictions, so not being able to draw to the screen, not being able to change things in VRAM, decrease B then branches on. No, unfortunately, one thing I learned quite quickly was that actually you actually have to load something into the accumulator and then compare. So the compares only happen on the accumulator, and you actually have to physically do the compare, otherwise the zero flag isn't set. So just a register hitting 0 doesn't set the 0 flag, which is, to me, it's bizarre. I mean, it's a very strange way. Oh, a built-in opcode? No, I don't think so. Is it just don't jump on? Oh, DJ Anna. Seems, no, I don't think so. Shit, where's that gone now? Where is that? Oh, it's there. Okay. So I'm just trying to copy this data across for now. Colors I'm not too fussed about. I can deal with the colors shortly. That, as I've mentioned before, that's just a color RAM kind of attribute change. For now, I just want to get these HUD elements in, and maybe we can color it if we've got time. Probably I've got time actually. So, oops. See, you can't right click to delete. That's so frustrating. Some of it is fine, and some of it's not so fine. This is why I ended up writing my own, because it just made more sense to me to do it exactly how I wanted it. What the? It's not the right one, is it? It's that one. Exactly how I wanted it, rather than be at the whim of this weird program. Like meta tiles. Why don't NES and Game Boy tile editors have the concept of meta tiles? It's such a space saver. It just blows my mind that they don't exist. At least not decent ones anyway, not one that I could find. Okay, so it's just carries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Cool. Now, the question is, how the hell do I get that data out? So, I think some tools do. I couldn't find a good one that let me do what I wanted to do. That's why I just ended up writing my own. Didn't take that long. So, hardware doesn't support metatiles. Yeah, but I mean that's fine. That's what we're using in here, and it didn't. I mean, I'm completely new to Game Boy and Z80, and it took me a stream to do it. So. It seems like something that should be available if it's a fairly simple piece of code to write, and it's certainly used in many games. I can't imagine the games are just using many games are just using tiles directly like this. So they must be using it. Yeah, it's kind of like it's more like the 8080 than it is the Z80. I think it's kind of halfway between the two, it's leaning slightly towards the 8080. So I should probably put my headphone in case I miss anything. Okay, so now I just need to figure out how to get it out of here. Save set file. Don't know what that is. NAM. What the fuck is a NAM file? Akmafin, you never fail to disappoint. Right, I'm going to open that up in the hex editor because I'm not sure what the hell that's just output. So let's go and have a look at that. Export. My guess is this is not tall. Oh, maybe it is actually. Look at this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, this is correct. Actually, a good job I put my headphone in because it just beat to change. That means that battery has lasted an hour and a half. I mean, they were great headphones for the price, but you get what you pay for, and I think I've ended up buying something that's not very long life in terms of the battery. Although I did open one up the other day. I did open this one up because it was failing to charge, and I saw the battery, and the battery is minute. I mean, think how big it is. It's probably about half the size of a Tic Tac. For those who know what a Tic Tac is, I don't know if that's a British thing or not. I don't think it is actually. I think that's kind of American as well. So, okay, cool. So it looks like the NAM file is exactly what we want. So I'm just going to delete all the extraneous data in here. Can I mark that? Edit. Bookmark. Block no longer valid. What? Bookmark. Block delete. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12. Is that right? 20. Yeah, because the screen's 32. Okay, a really inefficient way of doing this, but I mean, to be honest, save its hold now anyway. To be honest, it's probably easier than going in the editor that I've got, and you got Tic Tacs here as well. Yeah, so the battery's probably about. In fact, it's probably not even half. It's probably more like a quarter of the size of a Tic Tac, which I think is impressive that they can make lithium-ion batteries that are that big, or whatever they are. I guess they are lithium-ion. Okay, so time maps are important here, screens are imported here, so I think this is where we need to import them from. I am going to add. Why is this a line 7? I've completely forgot what the align is there. Well, is this okay? I'm not sure what that is, but I'm gonna move. I'm gonna put the hood in here as well. If I remember the, I can't remember the bottom for copy align there. There we go. I'm not going to put the align in because I don't think I need to align it. I think this is just to do with the way that the screens are read in. And at the moment we're loading in all the screens, just 3 of the screens, so not all of the screens, and they're being loaded in these weird sections. That won't be the case when we've finished. It will actually be properly aligned and stuff in the banks. Nav wasn't. Okay, so this should import 40 bytes for the screen for the HUD. So let us create another file, call it HUD. We'll initialize that as well. Okay, so call it HUD code. Is it ROM 0 here? Make sure it's in the main ROM area. So just a reminder, ROM 0 is the area from 0 to 4000 in hex, and this is the area that is never banked out. This is a 16 kilobytes of code that's always in memory. The next 16 kilobytes from 4000 to 8000 are what's known as ROM-X, and these are the areas that can be banked in and out. So you kind of want code that is always going to be running independent of what banks you've got in to run in ROM 0, and you want stuff that is dependent, kind of switched in and out to be in ROM-X. Is that true for every game? I think some games, it depends on the cartridge type. So the cartridge type I'm using definitely has it in that location. I think ROM 0 is always the same in every game, but I think how ROM-X is used is different from cartridge to cartridge. Again, I'm still kind of learning this stuff, so I'm still torn as to whether or not to use these hardware labels that they supply, these things here, because actually using the labels meant that I knew the hexadecimal value, but I was using this one instead, and I never spotted it because I was using this label, and the label means nothing to me. So yet, I mean, it might do once I get more familiar with the hardware, but at the moment that just meant nothing to me. It had LCD in it, which I knew is what I needed because it's this LCD status which I was trying to read. So there's a few things like that I'm still kind of finding my feet with. Let's make this consistent. Sorry, visualize. Oh, actually, we call it all in it. So we've got init call init. Put another function in here. I mean, it makes sense to keep all the init functions in one place and then have them in turn call other things. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to copy 40 bytes from ROM into screen RAM. So we're going to need to wait for init fonts and its sound. We're going to have to wait for vblank in order to do this safely anyway. I think when we actually do the update of the HUD, it will be done in vblank anyway. I think anyway, or will it be done elsewhere and then just copied in VBlank? Yeah, exactly. So I'm using ROM0 for all my basic code, things like drawing a map, um, set my interrupts up, all my interrupt code. I'm guessing my music routine will be in there as well. ROMX I'm using at the moment, I'm using it for level data. But it may be that I put some specific stuff in there as well. So for instance, title screen or a completion screen or things like that that don't necessarily um, need to be running all the time. And the thing is because the VRAM is always available. Once I've copied the map data and the font data from my ROM files, from my ROMX files, from my ROMX banks into VRAM, I can then use ROMX. I can bank those things out, and it's still there in VRAM. So I can use another bank to do things like uh, just trying to think, yeah, title screen or completion or even a dialogue, because when the dialogue happens, everything pauses. So everything on the screen pauses. Actually, the color will change as well. Hopefully, if I can get that working. Um, and the window kind of view comes in, and a dialogue appears. But that code could very easily be in a bank. There's no reason for it to be in the main code. And in fact, we could actually put the data for those dialogues in there as well. So we could have a whole bank dedicated to drawing dialogues. So you bank it in, you call a routine, and then that routine sets up the window, sets up the dialogue, colors the screen correctly. Um, and because it only has to be called during the dialogue sequence, it's perfectly fine for that to be banked in as it's needed. We'd need some kind of need a bootstrap function in ROM0 in order to bank it in and call it, but yeah, it should be fine. Uh, okay, so we're going to wait for the VBlank because we are going to be changing stuff on screen. I can remember how the screen works again now. So it's been a few weeks since I did it now, so let's go and have a look at that. Okay, so we're waiting for VBlank. We don't need to turn this off because we're only copying 40 bytes. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing now. So you can see in here, I've got my actual font in bank one, and then my screen, my meta tile data, and my screens in bank two. Um, so I load the first thing I do is I copy all that font data into VRAM, and then when I'm drawing the screens, I switch to bank two. So you'll see when yeah, so we switch to the screen bank here, and then update the screen. It is a little bit tedious, but it's fine. I mean, after doing C64 stuff with cartridge banking, it's a much easier way of doing it than the CC. The C64 is a pain in the ass because there's so many different cartridge formats, and some will only bank 8K in at a time, some will bank 16K in at a time, some will bank 16K spread over two 8K banks that are separated. So knowing your cartridge makes a hell of a difference, but it seems fairly consistent on the Game Boy. Uh, okay, so I need to copy the data from this bank here, this location here. So I need to change my bank, which I can do with this bit of code here. So I've already done it here. So even though the ROM0 is ROM, if you write any value into an address in ROM0, it actually changes the bank for ROMX, which took me a while to figure out because it wasn't very well explained, and it was to me it was a very confusing concept. Because this is the other thing that's kind of confusing for C64 programmers. You're used to RAM being RAM and ROM being ROM. If you write to a value somewhere, you can guarantee that it's going to get written there, even if you don't see it, because you've got RAM banked into that location. Getting used to having an area which you can only read from is very confusing. So having this RAM file, which uses the C000 onwards, I think it's a 4K bank of RAM. Might be 8K, I can't remember. I think it's 4K. I think the next 4K is SRAM or something like that, which lets you save it. Is very confusing indeed. So it just took a little while to get used to that. So we need to switch to the bank to bank 2. I'm using this constant here because it's just a bit easier than trying to remember what these bank numbers are. So basically, the first thing I do in any of these sections is set these bank names up so that I know if I see bank underscore, that's a number that corresponds to the bank that I'm loading from, and then I store it into 2000. So this is actually, I'm going to put a comment in here. Set the bank for hood data, and then I need to copy 2 blocks of 20 characters into the screen. They're contiguous in this RAM here, but they're going to be drawn onto 2 separate lines. So I think the easiest way to do this is to do this a column at a time. So we're going to I need to get screened out. I can't remember where my screen is now. So I'm so used to the just let me put a ret here, and then I'm so used to the C64. Size 19 unknown symbol V. If I done here, I added some random crap in. 19. Oh. Of course they are, because I haven't edited it. Okay, so actually that's in ROM. Right, that is in ROM 0, isn't it? That's fine. Okay. Depending on the mapper chip, you can also write to ROM X. Oh god, don't tell me that. It's even more confusing. Okay, what was I going to check? I was going to check. Oh yeah, where my actual screen RAM is. BG map. Here we go. It's at 9000. So I need to be writing at 9E and 9E20. Okay, so oh shit, this is where indexing would be really handy right now. Okay, let's think about this. So so our source is going to be hood data, which is this block here. Our destination, at least to begin with, is going to be opposite again 9. I forgot already. 900. Yeah. And we're going to need some kind of loop. So see, I'm already forgetting how to do these kind of local loops. So I need to load the accumulator with the bytes at HR while also incrementing HR, and then store that the byte pointed to by there. Now, what I need to do is I need to so HL is already incremented. This is fine, but I need to make sure that if this value here, I guess it's this one here, if this hits 20, no, because I'm only copying 20 bytes. So if this hits 14, I need to reset it to 0 and increment this one instead. So I'm going to increment that. And then I'm going to load accumulate up the value in E. I'm going to compare that to 1.4. I think I can do that on 0 skip, so this would be here. However, at this point I have hit the end, so what I need to do is load 0 into, no, can I do this directly? I can do it directly in here, can I? There you go. Oh, can I increment can I just increment an 8-bit register, or do I have to increment? No, I can. Okay, cool. Put another label here, and a jump relative to loop here. And then what I can do is I can check that has not reached. So this would be 9. No, see, this is wrong as well, isn't it? It's not that, it's because it's not 9F, it's 9E20. Okay, so this actually becomes 20. Get rid of that. Okay. I'm going to load into the accumulator here because I can then compare it at this point here, because I do need to compare it again here to see if it's reached 34. And that would be chunk load 0. No, there we go. I think that will do it. Well, let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. Cool. We have some data there. I mean, the fonts are the palettes are wrong, but that's fine. So this is the palette data is already in. Oh shit! It's in meta tiles. Okay, so we're going to have to store some palette data as well for these. Okay, so let's take a look at my editor. So, unfortunately, the palettes are different all the way along. So let's bring up YYCHR. So the palettes are as follows. So we probably need to store this in some data as well. Actually, I can't import my palettes into here, which is a bit annoying. Shit. Okay. Well, let's start by let's put how do I do bytes in here? Is it like dB or something? dB. Yeah, there we go. So let's put 20 bytes in here of a palette number, and that palette number can be 4, so it'd be 3. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. Okay. So we're storing at the destination here. This is setting the actual character itself, but now we need to actually switch the VRAM bank and write the attribute data as well. I'm going to suggest actually that we do this in 2 separate loops. One loop for the what's that code gun? Get rid of that one. Shit, where's the hub data? I just closed it. So we'll use this same loop again, but we'll change the destination and source. Actually, the destination will stay the same, but the source will change. So this is our data, and this is, again, I'm sure there's a much more efficient way of doing this, but And I need to remember how the HUD attributes work now. So can't remember LCD VRAM sprite, VRAM tile data, BGMap attributes. Here we go. So the first 3 bits are the palette data. So actually, this is fine as it is. Tile RAM VBank number 0. Yes, because the VRAM bank is not going to change. None of these are going to change. So these values are fine. And they need to be in that mode. So I just need to remember how to draw to that now. If I ever look at my map code, it should be in here somewhere. Okay, map screen address. Draw the 4 attributes. Switch to attribute map. VBK, see mode. Select video RAM bank. Okay. I don't seem to set it to 1 anywhere in here, so I won't set it to 0. Which is a bit worrying. Oh, switch back to char map. There we go. Oh, because, alright, okay, let's do it that way. Oh, raid. Hey, Esden, thank you for the raid. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome everybody that's coming along with Esden. And hi to Sky 2000. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate it. What have you been up to tonight? You were doing hardware stuff, if I remember rightly, last time. Am I remembering that right? I'm currently fighting with the Game Boy, with my newbie approach to it. Getting there slowly, but yeah, correct. Yeah, I thought so. You were doing I can't remember the exact thing you were doing, but it was certainly pretty interesting. Feel free to can somebody give Esden a shout out as well? Oh yeah, that's right. You were doing the was it USB protocol or something? You were doing some. Yeah, I do vaguely remember what you're doing. Sorry, my memory is terrible. I'll give you a shout out if no one else is going to do it. Oh, apparently the bot's not working. Way to go, Streamlabs. Ah, there you go. FPGA, that was right. Yeah, and I was saying how I'd like to get into that. It's just finding the time to get onto that. But I definitely would like to do more of that sort of stuff. I'd like to. What I would like to do is design fantasy console. So Monsters Go Boom, who's frequents my Discord quite a lot. They've been doing a lot of stuff with fantasy consoles. I'd love to write a fantasy console and to actually make it in FPGA. Thank you, Jacob. Welcome to the stream, dude. Thank you for the follow. Okay, still not putting the right data down here. It should be changing the font down here now. Sorry, the palette down here now. HUD attribute. What have I done wrong here? Is it because I'm using? It might be because I'm using the loop. Yes. Oh no, it's because I've done something after that. Okay. Also, I probably need to change the names of these loops because now, fortunately, I don't think. It's fascinating. So people in community doing things like that. Yeah, I'd like to do something like that. I mean, for me, the ideal console would be something that ran on 6502 for definite. I hate Z80. I like my code to fit in one screen. I mean, what I'm doing here now. I mean, I'm sure this is very inefficient Z80. I'm not a Z80 coder, so this could probably be done way more efficiently. But I could do this in like 6 or 7 lines of code in 6502. Well, maybe not 6 or 7, but 10 or so. So it'd be 6502, but it would have the kind of the capabilities of something like the Game Boy, to be honest. See, it seems to be missing out these ones here. Are we somehow... Why is it not filling those? It's not filling those bottom ones incorrectly. Okay. 5, 5, 5, yeah. Okay, it should definitely be grabbing them from there. Let me always put the value 3 in. Let me just see if changing that actually has an effect on it. Okay, no, it seems like some of these things are not using the right palette. It's almost like the second line is failing for some reason. DDI built one that is SNES inspired. Oh, cool. Yeah, I would like to make 6502 based machine, but with more kind of... I kind of like the handheld approach. I really like the Game Boy Color. I think if the Game Boy Color was 6502, my God, it would be an amazing machine. I mean, it still is an amazing machine. It's not a terrible machine by any means, but I think if it had the stuff that you've got, like the PPU stuff that you've got, maybe with bigger sprites, maybe the default sprite size should be 16 by 16, or even 24 by 24, with the ability to map VRAM anywhere in the same way the C64 does. The ability to move your screen RAM anywhere in the 64K block is just lovely. You can do some amazing stuff with it. So we did a stream on Thursday where we did a simple kind of shimmer, simple. It's called Tech Tech, simple effect, and it's a great effect for the C64 because it doesn't have uh, these huge scroll windows that the Game Boy or the NES has. It only has an 8-pixel hardware scroll, so you can only move 8 pixels in either direction. So doing like these crazy big kind of scrolls is quite difficult. But by utilizing clever use of VRAM, by moving a character set, by switching the VRAM to point to 8 different character sets, you can create similar effects and some quite cool stuff. There's definitely stuff the C64 can do that the Game Boy just cannot do. Definitely cannot do it because of the way that the VRAM works. But then the C64 is let down by its 2 pixels per bit thing, or two bits per... I don't even know what you'd call it because it's a kind of unique... I think there's only the C64 that does it. I don't know any other machine that does it. Other than the Commodores, but the expanding of a pixel to allow multiple colors. I mean, it was a clever solution, but it's resulted in the weird blocky stuff that we see on the C64. Which, if it's done right, can look amazing, but there's so many things that are just done really badly. Okay, so why are we not seeing the right values? I'm going to go and have a look in. All right, let me close all these ones down. So it's kind of doing half of it, but then there's blocks down here that have not been done properly. It's like it's skipped some of it. For the first time through, it definitely copied. It copied all this correctly. It's just not copied the palettes correctly for some reason. Maybe with 4 gigabytes of RAM via mappers. Yeah, 4 gigabytes. God, imagine what you could do with 4 gigabytes of RAM on the C64. That would just be insane. So one of the things I really want to try at some point is using a 512 kilobyte cartridge that's basically full of screen banks, screen and character banks. So I don't know if you've seen some of the Mega CD games that happened. So there was a racing game on the Mega CD. I forget what it was called now. But basically, the way it worked is they just streamed a video in of the car of the background, and then you were, I think it was a Batman game, Batman. I can't remember what it was, but they basically streamed a video in that was wider than the screen. So what they would do is they would scroll the video left and right, so you got the kind of, you're moving around the road, and then they would superimpose sprites over the top of it, and the end result was a very impressive looking game. I mean, it was still rendered, so it wasn't like a video of a road; it was a rendered kind of scene, but it looked really impressive. But if you fill a 512 kilobyte cartridge up with all the instances that you could think of a road turning and bending, you could have an incredibly smooth racing game done using that. And if you combine it with things like FPD and VSP, you can scroll things around, you can draw things at different heights, you can have bumps in the road, you can move the road all over the place. You could do some pretty impressive stuff, I think. It's just finding the time to do it. This is always the case for me, unfortunately. All right, let's have a look at the VRAM and see what's going on. In fact, I'm going to take a quick break in a minute. What time are we on? Where's my clock? There it is. Yeah, I'll take a quick break in a minute, and then when I come back, I'll have a look. Yeah, look, see the palette here, BG0, BG3, BG3, and then here, BG0. For some reason, BG0. And I don't know why it's doing that. It's almost like it's run out of time at some point. And it's now trying to draw. Actually, yeah, that would make sense, because if you look, actually, no, not quite, because it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, actually, yeah, maybe. I think that the screen is not turned off at that point, and it should be. And it HUD call setup HUD. The disable screen and enable screen is not on. So what if we moved that? Where is that disable screen being called? I think that is being called in one of these. Knit fonts, and it interrupts. Yeah, I think we just need to do disable screen, enable screen. I think that's all we need to do. So just gonna do it in a minute. This is just because I think this is just because of where we're actually doing things. So in here we actually wait for VBlank. I don't think it's enough, so I'm going to get rid of that. Unfortunately, VBlank is incredibly short. We're going to use VBlank primarily for doing the sprite DMA copies, and try and do everything else in HBlank if it needs to update VRAM. So we've already done the character animations in HBlank, using HBlank DMA. I think they should fix it now. Yeah, there we go. Right. Okay. I'm going to go for a quick break. Then when I come back, we're going to set the fonts, the palette numbers for these, so the keys light up with the correct color and that these are blue. And then I might have a look at, in the last hour, just doing a little bit more animation, maybe getting these this moving or something. Okay, cool. Right. Be right back in 2-3 minutes, guys. Be right back. And I'm back. Time to fill the wine up. Thank you for the follow, Tripetti. Welcome to the days. All right, let's get the colors in here. So this is quite simple, really. I just need to look at my my palettes in here and pick the right palette for things. So I'm going to put a comment here. palette info for the colorings. I should probably open this as well so I can actually see how many characters across it is. So let's do it in blocks of 5. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. So we need to work out the palettes as well. I'm going to put my palettes on this screen over here so I can, and I'm sure if I type, yeah, it's going to disappear. Alright, so I'm going to move this over here as well. So we need the white palette, which is palette number 0, and that needs to be here. 4. Thank you for the follow, Mozix, I'm going to call you. Let me know if that's incorrect. And then there's a space of 1, and then there's the keys. So the keys are these 3 here, and these need to be in the order red, green, and blue. So that is palette 6, 7, 2. So this would be 6, 7, 2. And then palette stays the same, and then the last 3 need to be in the blue again, which is 7. So these are 7. And it's duplicated on the line below. So hopefully, if I give this a run, just close the old one down, I should have the correct colours in there now as well. And we don't. Why don't we have the correct colours? I've made a mistake somewhere. Try again. I think I might have an error somewhere because it's. Oh no! Oh! Oh! Did you see that? That was weird. It's picking a weird screen up here. So that screen's fine. That screen's fine. And then this one is weird. Well, first of all, that shouldn't be there. I don't know why that's there. I suspect that this is causing an issue. It shouldn't be. I need to remember what this align does. I think this is what gives us... If you had the ages of everyone here is more than the age of the universe. You're probably right. Yeah, I had that little debug line and just make everything one colour. Oops. Okay, almost right, but that white is wrong. I think that white actually might be... Oh no, that says it should be that one. It should be 0. But for some reason it's shown up in this dark colour. So the keys are correct. Well, kind of correct. I think the green and the blue are the wrong way around. So we've got 672. It should be 627. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I would like the keys to kind of be RGB, so... But the question is why is this palette 0 here showing the wrong thing when on here? So if you look here, it's this little guy here. If I set it to palette 1, it goes white, which is what we should be seeing, but it looks like it's doing... Looks like it's doing that or something. So that happens. compare that to our original picture. I mean, there are some slight differences in the key colours and such, but for now, I'm not too far. Actually, let's make that second key. Damn it, it kind of has to be that brown colour, unfortunately. So I think what is going on with the key is it's using this colour here, whereas it should probably be using this one here. So it should be using palette 0 on the unused bits. So it's this one here and this one here. This will be done dynamically once we get going, so see what that looks like. Okay, yeah, so that's got those colours correct. Still need to work out why that colour's wrong though. This is odd. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and then there should be zeros. But for some reason it's drawing that in like a white colour. Maybe that palette is wrong. I don't see any other place where that palette would produce that colour though, except maybe that one. So it's this block here. Oh, I already did have. God damn it! I already had these tiles set up, and the keys as well. Oh well. Why is it that colour? I feel like it's not set that white correctly. Is there anything else that uses that white? Let's just try changing that colour in here. Yeah, nothing else is using that colour except the text. So maybe it's just maybe it's an error with the palette export. Let's go and have a look at the palette export then. So this is our palettes. So each palette consists of 8 bytes, which we've got here, so we can see all 8 palettes here. And this is our last one here, 2084. And the palette is in I can't remember if it's little endian or not. I don't think it is. Let's open the calc and have a look. So 2084 in hex, 2084. So looking at that in binary, I think it is in little endian. So 8420. Oh no, it's not. There's something weird going on there. This should be white, so this should be let's have a look at another one with white in it. So number 6 here, DE6F. It is little endian format, because if I do 6FDE and then look at that in binary, yes, okay. So this would be 8FFF. No, this would be 7FFFF. So we'll change that in here to match. We might have a problem with the first colour palette on the export, so there we go, perfect. Okay, don't know why that's wrong. I need to make a note of that to check that. It seems I've got a bug in my editor. Palette 0, colour 3 is not working. Zero colour 3 bug. weird that it's just that one. Got so many post-it notes dotted around there. But that looks good. That is exactly what I want from it. Just looking at the palettes, I would have liked this blue to be white instead. But you can see when I change it, everything goes a little bit too white on the thing. Maybe if I tone it down a little bit like that. Let's try that. Probably going to have to change that palette again now. So let's see what I actually did this time. Yeah, it changes that. That first one, it changes for some reason. Oh my god, that's a really annoying song, so I'm going to... put this one on. Yeah, it screws about with that first colour for some reason. I have no idea why, but it massively screws about with that first colour. Just this one here. I mean, it makes no sense. There we go, perfect. Okay, now we've got that working, let's have a look at doing some of the other animations. So the easiest animation to do next is this water animation. So this is to think about how this is arranged. It's 2 bits per pixel, so we've got a 16-bit string basically for each row of characters, and we need to shift that 2 bits over at a time, because if we do 1 bit, it's going to screw up the color information, the palette information. So we need to move it 2 bits at a time, and any 2 bits that drop off the end need to be scrolled into the next one. So it's a little bit more complicated than you would do on, say, the C64, because you're dealing with 16-bit scrolls here. So let's do it in here. Charge Shadow RAM Animate. Okay, let's tidy this up a little bit. So let's do it here. Okay. So this is our water surface animation. Oh, actually, it's just a single character. So yeah, because if we look at the tile here, it's just a single character. So actually, we just need to scroll. We just need to move. Actually, I think in Z80, I'm pretty sure. I've got to find the Z80 list now. I'm pretty sure there is a roll instruction that will do this for us. Baby Test back, thank you for the follow, and thank you for the follow, Rodrigo Calderia Lima. Welcome to the stream, guys. Nice to see some hard coding on Twitch. Yeah, it is hard for me because I'm a 6502 coder. So, for those who are new to the channel, I generally do C64 stuff from 6502. But I've been eyeing up the Gameboy Color hardware for some time, and I really liked the kind of approach that Nintendo took with the Gameboy Color. Apart from the Z80, I'm not that happy with that, but I like the fact that they've got proper line-based raster interrupts. They've got this kind of multiple. It's called Rickroll. So I was kind of itching to have a go at this properly. So okay, so I think there is a roll. I seem to vaguely remember. Is it this one? No, rotate through. This is the one. So rotate, register. So RLC. Okay. I think it's this one. But I want to do left, not right. So hopefully there's an LLC. RL. Oh no, that was it. Hang on. RLC. Yeah, RLC is what I want. No, sorry, RRC is what I want. Okay. So this one, yeah. So this rotates a register. Right, okay. So what I need to do, I need to take the data in water surface. So 16 bytes in water surface. So I'm going to load HL with water surface. And I'm going to load B with 0. B is going to be our counter. This is loop 3 now. Then I'm going to load the accumulator with HL, increment HL as we go. Then I'm going to rotate to the right through the carry accumulator. Then, actually this needs to be HL. And this needs to be HLI. I think it's B. This might need, it might need this thing, wherever it is, skip char. Yeah, we might need to slow it down a little bit, so it's not actually being done in here. I thought we were doing it in here. Oh, there we go. No, that's not word, because we should see this moving and we're not seeing this move. Let's just have a look in memory just to see if that is actually moving in memory. So that is at C000, C1000. I need to learn how to say these values. So it's this block here, and it's the first 16 characters, so it's this entire block here, which doesn't look like it's moving at all, which is not. Let's just get rid of that timer for now, come back to that. Yeah, it's not moving that at all, is it? So let's think about that. Are we doing this correctly? So we're loading a value from here. Oh, we're only shifting once here. We should be shifting twice. So that's one thing. We need to shift to it. Now, hang on. Is the data side by side or is it interleaved? I cannot for the life of me remember. I'm going to have to look at one of the files. It looks interleaved, so actually doing it once should be enough, because it's interleaved, we don't need to move everything across twice, we just need to move each byte across by one. But the question is, why is this not running? It doesn't seem like it's getting to that point at all. Have I got an error in here? Ah, I've got an error, that's why. VRAM updates 107. Okay, apparently this is an error because we're loading the byte of that value. I don't want the byte, I want the address. There we go. Okay, so now we definitely need to slow it down. So let's slow it down. Let's do it every 4th frame. There we go. Yeah, so the data is interleaved. So basically, if you think of the C64, you might have something like this. And this defines the pixels that make up something on screen. So if we're in high-res mode, then these are the pixels in binary. In the Game Boy, it's exactly the same, except once you've done one row of pixels, you go back and you do the same row of pixels again, defining the palette for each one. So in this case, there are pixels using color 3, color 0, color 3, color 0, color 2, color 0, color 2, color 0. So it's interleaved, which is handy for performance because it means we don't need to worry. Otherwise, if it was the NES, we would have had to do this because I know the NES, actually performance-wise, it doesn't make a difference. Actually, it probably does slightly make a little bit of difference because you would need to do that instead. You'd need to increase B twice and you'd have to do this section twice as well. Why has my cursor stopped working? Yeah, so you would have had to have done this. Because on the NES, it's the pixels would be like this. So actually on the NES they're interleaved. On no, sorry, on the NES they're not interleaved, but on the Game Boy they are interleaved, so you get kind of high bit and low bit. So it would be a little bit slower on the NES. So it's an efficiency thing, I think. Okay, cool. So this is working for the water surface animation. So the next job is to do this bit here. Now, I don't know how I've got this set up in here. It looks like I'm using the same character there. I was hoping there'd be 2 different characters, but it's not, it's just one. Okay, so I'm going to move things around a little bit. I need to remind myself how I did this on the Commodore. I think on the Commodore what I did was I had a couple of different characters that I put in. I'm not convinced that's going to work as well here. Actually, no. I think it could work. So if I copy that, put it here. I have to remember how to copy and paste. There we go. It's just CMV. And then in this one, do it like that. Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Let's open the editor on. I'll do it. Did I open the editor? Good question. I don't think it's actually called that. I think it's. Is this the right editor? No. I think this is the. This is the new one. Okay. I don't think I've got it set up to run. Let's give it a try. It's definitely not been built looking at this. It's using a... Is it using Electron? It is using Electron. Okay. Let's try this. See if I can get it running. I've not run this for a while. So unfortunately I have two separate editors. One for Dock 1 and one for Dock 2 because they're quite drastically different. So see what happens. Alphabetic. So I think on the next stream, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and get some time over the next week to do the Petsky version of the font. Yeah, this is the one. Alright. This is a really old editor, but whatever. In fact, this is a really old version of the game. I need to actually load it from the dock itself. Questions, where on earth did I save them? Here we go. Right, okay, so this is the water here. And it looks like, let's get rid of that, there we go. It looks like, yeah, I had two different characters. You can see here, the flick. Actually, I've got three different characters by the looks of things. And I guess it's just flickering between those three. I seem to remember, I don't have animations. See, this is the other thing, my new dock editor is so much better because I've got animations that work really well in it. Also, the scrolling is so much better. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but it looks like it's just these two characters and then a third one which maybe gets inserted now and again. So I think we can do this by... I've created two characters now. But I think if I just switch the data in these two characters every frame, it will create a very fuzzy kind of blast, which is what we want. So I need to change my palette information again because of the bug. See what? I mean, it just picks random colours. It picked black that time. Let's close that one. Have I just closed? Just closed it completely. I have. Oh my god. I really do like this roll, the fact that they do have a roll through the carry and a roll into the carry. So you have a way of just rolling 8 bits or 8 bits or 9 bits, and that's really nice. That's something the C64 could definitely have done with. Oh, 6502. What is this tune? Recognise this. Oh, Mickey Mouse. I said this last time. Mickey Mouse, god damn it. So let's call this water splash animation. So what we need to do here is... Actually, do you know, the other thing I want to do as well, I want to see how long this shit takes. Actually, I'll do it in the main file when we're done. I don't think it's going to matter too much because we can do it anywhere, so... Yeah, it doesn't matter for now. Okay, so what I want to do, let's just check that's fine again with the colours. And check that on this screen. Okay, yeah, so we've got these two different characters here. And I'm just going to swap the data in these two. So how am I going to do that? So I need a loop like this. So I'm just going to copy this loop again. And I'm going to change these. So we've got water surface, waterfall, and then these two here. So this is going to be water splash. So I'm going to take two off this. Call this water splash. And this is two characters, so 32 bytes. So, what do I need to do? I need to take a value from HL, store it somewhere, and then take a value from DE, which is going to be plus 16, and switch the two over. So I can use the C as a temporary store, I'm using B as a counter. Okay, so load a value from water splash into accumulator, then load C with that. So this is our temp. And then load accumulator with DE. And then load HL, incrementing it with the accumulator. Then load the accumulator with the temp again. And then store that at DE. There we go. And then I need to increment DE. Don't need to do that. Increment B, compare 10, call this loop 4. I think that's it. I think that kind of makes sense. Okay, it's not doing anything. Let's have a look at that. So, taking a value from HL, storing it temporarily. Take the value from DE, store it in HL. Take the value from C, store it in DE. Must have a bug somewhere. I really need to fix this build. Yeah, there we go. VRAM 130. Oh, because that should be accumulated. Nope. Those all. Save it all. Okay. HL, store it in C. DE, store in HLI. C, store it back in DE. This looks like it should be working. Give it a try. Okay, so let's have a look at the debugger. So this is going to be season 100. So we've got water surface here, then we've got waterfall, these two. and then water splash these two. And you can see water splash is not actually doing anything. So these ones are working fine, but water splash is not doing anything. It does actually flash now and again. See, it is switching between the two now and again. See how it's switching between the two? Okay. It's just not doing it all the time for some reason. Let's put the timer check in. Can't imagine it's doing it too quick though. It'd be unusual. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's slow it right down. Thank you for the follow, Elveo Ardi. Welcome to the stream, dude. Ah, that kind of looks alright. Let's speed up a little bit. I'm not sure why it was doing it too fast though. Yeah, that'll do. Cool. So, oh. Oh, that was blank. So the next thing is to do this flame, which is this flame here, I believe. No, it's typically it's going to be that one. Yeah. So what I need to do here is copy one of these into here, depending on a flag somewhere. So for now, it's just two frames. One is copied twice. This one and this one are identical. I will update that later, but for now, let's just get this kind of working. So one way I could do this is I could move all those bytes along. But I think the easiest way is to just have this is the one that actually gets used, and then these ones are just copied into this location as need be. So I am going to make a slight adjustment to this frame so that it can look a bit more natural. Actually, it completely doesn't now at all. Few stuck pixels though that I don't like the bottom half of this doesn't move, which is it's going to make it a bit weird. For now it will do though. And I'm going to have to fix the font palette. It's a frustrating thing that I have to do at the moment. So what do I need to do? I need to copy one of these frames into this location. That frame is going to be dependent on a flag somewhere in RAM. So let's create a little flag in here. Let's call it a flame frame. Reserve 1 byte for it. Yeah, okay. We'll do the same timer thing in here again. Might as well use the same kind of speed. I think it's fine. the skip chart at the end. Okay. So what do I need to do? First of all, I need to load the value from flame frame. So this is going to define whether we should be showing frame 0, 1, or 2 in there. Part of me thinks it should. Oh, no, it's probably all right actually. Maybe it can pick one at random. I've not even done random numbers yet, but how we update this is not important for now. What's important is that it actually copies that frame into place. So it is that yeah, Hybrid Gameboy Color game. I am going to finish the wine before I end tonight, so I might go a little bit later than normal. It's only a glass and a half or so left, so. Actually, I'm quite pleased with that one. I thought it looks all right. The splash could be a little bit better, but it's kind of looking okay. It's obvious what it is anyway. That's the main thing. Yeah, okay, let's not worry about the precise nature of how it's going to animate. Let's just make sure that we copy based on that frame. So, freaking work. No, don't give me a work email right now. So I have to check this in case it's a live issue of some kind. Which it is not. Okay, good. Go for that. Okay, so tile 245, 246, or 247, which in here, oops, wrong one, is these three here. So this is 8F50, 8F60, 8F70. So 8F is always going to be the low byte. So what I'm going to suggest we do is we're going to load HL with the so this is flame base chart, and then we're going to change the value in L to be what we need it to be. So we're going to take the flame frame, we need to multiply this by 16. So the easiest way to do this is to shift things to the left 4 times. Oh, I don't even know how to shift to the left, so I need to go and have a look this up. Shift left accumulator, shift left arithmetic register R8, so SLA A, that's what I need to do. Oops. Where was this one? I've just lost my place, there we go. So I need to do that 4 times, which will turn it from 0, 1, and 2 into 0, 1, 0, 2, 0. And then I need to add 50, which is our base LSB offset. And then I need to load that into the L register. So that now gives us a HL, which points to that character. And then DE needs to be the target, which is going to be this one here, AF80. And then basically I can just do this again. Simple loop. So we're going to load a value from HL. We can increment it as well. Don't need to transfer it. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Just need to change that to a 5. So all we're going to see here is a very, very minor change. At the moment, all the flames are pointing to the right at the top. We're copying this byte in here or we should be copying because it should be 0, hopefully. It might not initialize as 0, but if not, we can change anyway. Can always change it and initialize up here, fellas. Do that now. Is my username based on the Stormlight archive? You're not the first person to say that. You're not the first person to say that, but no, unfortunately, no. It's just a random name I picked back in 2001, I think, for a game I was playing. It turns out it's quite a big name in some fantasy. I guess that's what Stormlight is. There's some fantasy novel series. The goal of this project is to convert my C64 game to the Gameboy Color. So I'm just going to bring up a video of the C64 game. I'll do. Hopefully this runs. Oh, I've got to remember not to do it in here. I've got to use Chrome. For some reason, Brave has a real issue with multiple videos playing. I could him filling his own bot commands in. So the idea is to recreate this for the Game Boy Color. So this was the C64 version. It's basically a platform kind of adventure with a twist in that you can change timeline. So I don't know if it's going to show the timeline changes. Yeah, there we go. So you can change between old and new timelines, which changes the way that the game runs. So basically in this timeline, the controls are very old school. The look is very old school. But then in this new timeline, the controls are very modern in that you can kind of jump around and stuff. So it's basically recreating this on the Game Boy. Very early days though, so far this is all we have at the moment. So I've done oh, we've got an error. C100 main 16. VRAM updates 152. Oh, what have I done? Oh, it's actually doing some flickering. Yeah, so at the moment it's just kind of recreating that graphical stuff and coming up with a system of things. Okay, so it's doing something crazy with that frame. I'm not entirely sure what it's doing. It's definitely copying stuff, but it's going mental. Let's put 0 in there and just see what happens. Okay, it's still going crazy. God, is there a... I don't want to use the carry flag, that's what it is. So I'm using SLA. Oh, we should just put 0s in, so that should be fine actually. Just get rid of them for a second. No, it's still getting weirdness in there. Okay, let's go and have a look in the debugger. So this is flame frame, which is going to be... It's actually not even... Oh, shit. Do you know what? because we're doing it in here, and we shouldn't be doing it in here. We should be doing it in here. That's right. So it's 4 bytes. So this should be frame data. That should stay the same. And this should be frame data. Just the lower. And this should be 48, which is our target. Okay, that's probably gonna work better now. Gotta get used to that. Gotta get used to it being okay. Wasn't quite right, but gotta get used to that data being in strange places. For a start, this should be 7. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 7. Yeah, okay. Hey Steps, happy with your progress? Yeah, it's getting there. I've got the rasters figured out now. Got animations kind of working as close as I can get them for the moment. Solved some issues along the way. I'm learning. I'm learning a lot, so it's pretty good. Yeah, it's still not 100%. I still think it looks slightly better in the C64 version, and I'm not sure why, but it looks all right. I think as well. I mean, the game is going to be this big, right? For most people, people aren't going to be playing it on huge screens. It's going to be played. Well, I would hope it's played on real hardware. But I realise that might not always be the case. Also, this lets you do weird resolutions. That's not good. So let's make it nice and smooth. There we go. What's it look like on the tiny screen? Yeah, I will try it out on the real hardware shortly. Oops. Charged by now. No, it's not charged. Damn it. Alright, let's give that a charge. I'm going to go for a smoke in a second. When I come back, we'll fix the flame. Once I get the flame working, we'll take a look at actually, what time is it? No, we probably won't. Flame will probably be the last thing we do. And then on the next stream, I'll look at getting the bricks to flicker behind the flame. And then that's pretty much for the animation. There isn't much else that animates. But we do have a few blocks here where we could do some animation. So maybe we can add some extra. So one thing I was thinking maybe would be the vines, to have them kind of swing ever so slightly. Not a lot, just a tiny bit, just to add a little bit of depth in there as well. And I was considering putting some kind of background in, but actually I think with the flames and the bricks we kind of would look a bit weird. So all right, I'm going to take 2 or 3 minutes, guys, and when I come back we'll sort the flames out. I'm down to the last stretch of wine now. Just said I would finish before I end the stream, so I've got 1 glass left. Alright, I'll be back in is that charging? Yeah, it is. Alright, be back in 5 minutes, guys. Be right back. Let's have a look. Where are we at? Okay, the flame. So let's just get it to stop on that screen so we're not going through all the other screens as well. So I think just changing that value here. Okay, so it's just going to keep flicking to this screen. Okay, good. Okay, let's check the data now, see what's happening. So in RAM, this is going to be it must be really hard to read this. Unfortunately, I don't think making it bigger actually changes the size of it. Actually, is there must be a setting in here somewhere. Let's have a look. Window options, system, miscellaneous. No. Oh, unfortunately, you're stuck with this this font size. It's just a blur, yeah, I imagine it is. Oh, this has got to be Mario. I recognise this music. Yeah, it is. Mario Land 2. Thought so. God, I recognise that music. Sound of my childhood. Okay, so we've got water surface. 2 for the waterfall. And these two. So it's C050 is the flame data, and C080 is the actual location where it's being copied to, which is this one here. Which is weird because it's not displaying like that at all. So maybe the DRAM copy is going wrong, but let's press F9 and see what happens. Yeah, it looks like it's not copying that data correctly at all. So it should be copying this block here. So this is 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5, 0. It should be copying that to here. But what we're actually seeing is some kind of half bastardized version of it. If I don't do the animation at all, we get the correct flame. But the moment I do the copy, it breaks. So let's change the frame that it's grabbing. So up here we set the initial frame. So let's set that to 1 instead. Yeah, I think it's to do with our roll value. So let's put let's set up. Oops. Set that back to 0. Let's get rid of that. And this time, let's see if we can stick a breakpoint in here, which I'm going to have to try and find in this list. So where is it? Here we go. So we're looking for loop 5, which is here, 0218. So let's go and see if we can find that in the debugger. So that's do it actually in the code instead. So that's this block here. This is the loop. And let's put a breakpoint in at the loop actually. Pardon me. And let's run. Right. So now we can check destination is C080 and HL is C050. And you can see it's copying from 55 to 80 all the way along. But that's not what we're seeing up here. What we're seeing is a very weird thing indeed. So, you see there, our VRAM is incorrect. So it is copying the data correctly, but it's copying the wrong thing into it. And let's Let's just put a return in here and go and check that data again. And we have the correct data there. It's now... So the moment this runs, it starts copying it incorrectly. So at what point is it going wrong? Let's put a return in there, see if it breaks there. I can't imagine it breaking there. No, it's still correct. And this is Parasol Stars without a doubt. Parasol Stars boss fight. So we should load from the base jar, store it here, and we don't do anything else to it. So I don't know why it's breaking all of a sudden. Something seems to be overwriting that data for some reason. Flame data. I've seen nothing in here that would cause us problems because we're not loading anything into these values. So nothing is being loaded into flame frame data, which is this bit here. We're doing a DMA copy from there into the font, but that's fine. But for some reason, when we run this, that data gets overwritten by some... I'm not even sure what that is. It's just some random junk. Am I doing the right shift here? 2, 4 times 2 times 4 times 8 times 16. Okay. Let's step through some of this code, I guess, is the thing to do here. So, so at this point here, let's put a breakpoint in. Let's run. Right, we get to that point. So, step over F3. Okay. So HL has been loaded with C050, which is correct. This is this bit here. And then this should stay at 0 the whole time, which it is. See here, AF 0, add 50, so it becomes 5, 0. So it's C050, which is correct, because we're loading to L. D with C080, correct. Load and increment HL, so we're going to load... Wait. Oh, this is the wrong way around, that's why. There we go. So I was actually loading the value from the accumulator into the HL register, which would have ended up doing some very weird stuff, so... you load HL into, then... Yeah. Yeah, I had these two the wrong way around. That's what it is. I think that should be fine there. There we go. So we've now got it pointing that way. Okay, so now what we can do, just for a little kind of bit of animation, is we can load the accumulator with the contents of flame, frame, add one, compare that to 3. God, I wish you could do. I wish you could do actual, like relative labels or multi labels. Yeah, bonus points to you, Andy. You did spot it. Actually, we can just jump to skip 5. Just jump 5, can't we? No, actually, do skip. So we need to. Okay, it's not animating at all, so it means I've probably got an error in here somewhere. Okay, no errors. Oh, I know why. Because here we're just loading it with 0, whereas there should be. There we go. Cool. That actually doesn't look too bad. Okay, I'm going to see actually if we can very quickly do these animations here as well. So I have no idea how to do random numbers on the Z80, so I may have to create my normal kind of random routine, which means taking it in 6502 and turning it somehow into a Z80 version. So let's just have a look. Basically what I need to do is just change the palette for these things. Which I use in this palette here. Unfortunately, there's quite a few of them, so I could either fill this up with all of these and change them, or I can just change that palette. But I think that palette is used in other places as well, so it's using the green one there, it's using the yellow one there, it's using a mix of different palettes here. Let's have a look in here. None of these have yellow in the middle or white. Okay. Okay, how to do this. So one option would be to use this one here, because this has got. See, this means changing. I think what I need is one that I can change. So if I look at this one, this palette here, I want to see what changing this color does. I have it's going to change. Okay, let's put that back. So problem is the palette color is being used everywhere else. Now I have 2 palettes that I'm not using. Don't tell me that hasn't charged. There we go. I'm just going to re-trigger one of my alerts. Yep, I can't hear alerts now. Great. Annoying. So I could switch them over to this palette, which isn't being used anywhere. There's these palette 2 and palette 5 I'm not using at all at the moment. However, I do need one to do the Game Boy Color values. Actually, there's a thing. Maybe I'm not using this one as well. Okay. Definitely the easiest way to do this would be to do a palette switch. I just got to be careful because I don't want to change something that's going to change the palettes of everything. It needs to be something that's only going to be used by that one thing. Unfortunately, I don't know what this is using, this ladder. It'd be good if it's using palette 1, but I bet it's not. Okay, it's not using palette 1, but I could definitely make it use palette 1. So let's go and make those edits now. So, actually, I think it already is kind of, yeah, that's fine. The thing is, the ladders don't show in this mode anyway. They only show in the other mode. So that's not a big problem. I think this is also used for the guy here as well. So if I change this to red, oh, it's not actually. Okay. So maybe palette 1 is the one to do it on. Well, no, I've moved the ladder over to that now. So let's have a look at this palette. Let's see where this is being used. Okay, I don't think that's been used anywhere, so let's go with palette 2. Alright, so let's copy an existing palette, paste it into here, and then let's make all of these use that palette. So let's just change that color slightly just so I can see it. Okay, cool. Right, now if I go in here, copy that color. So now, palette 2, which is palette 1 when the 0 indexed, is being used for these bricks here, and it's the only thing that's been used for those. Which leaves me with this one for doing the green screen kind of Game Boy Color thing. Which is probably going to have to apply to the HUD as well. But I'm just wondering whether to leave the HUD just to give it that. Yeah, I'll work that out when I come to it. But for now, let's work with this palette 2. So first of all, I need to export again and then fix that palette 1 issue. Kids want dinner started because I stopped in tonight. I have another rabbit hole to go down. See you soon, Shad. Thank you very much, Microman. Thanks for joining the stream, dude. And hopefully see you again soon. Cool. Right. So we are editing palette 2. So that means in the V blank at the bottom, which we do have an interrupt for, in this one here, we can do the palette switch. So it's ROM, so I can just put the data directly into here. So I'm going to call it bricks off palette. and put on palette. And then I need to grab those palette values. I'm not sure how to do this. I think I can use DW. Do need to grab that palette value. So it is basically this value here, 11FB, 114B. One 4B, which is this in binary, with 3 zeros at the beginning. And then here we'll switch to the data from the other side of that palette. So for now, it's yellow. Let's just go with that. It's fine. Which is this one here, 2F9D. Okay. So start with 2 zeros in front. Right, now we need to do the palette stuff. So this is the funny thing here. So GB palettes. I've got to remember how to do this now. So FF68 is the value we need to write to. Oh, if I got rid of my... Oh. Oh, don't tell me the stream's gone off. Or is it just that video? Am I still streaming, guys? Because my video has gone dead for some reason. My router is on. I'll carry on. Oh, I'm still streaming. Okay, good. I don't know why the music stopped, guys. So I'll put it into Chrome. It's almost certainly going to fix the issue. Okay, cool. Okay, so I need to rephrase because it's been a while since I did the palette stuff, so I need to figure out how to do this now. So what? Now all of a sudden adverts. Go away, adverts. Oh, it's Chrome, that's why. This is why Brave is good, you see. Never get an advert on Brave. So, bit 5 defines which bit, bit 0 to 5 defines which bits we're going to do. So, let's do this directly. So, our palette switch means we need to load a value into FF68. In fact, let's go and have a look in that stupid hardware file, see if I can figure out the actual name of it. It's called RBCPS, of course it is. See, I don't think they're helpful at all. And this value needs to be 5 bits and then whether or not it auto increments. So we want to specify So it's 2 bytes per color, 4 bytes, 4 colors per palette. So that's 8 bytes, then 8 palettes. So we want to define the second color in the second palette. So it's 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 0A, which is in X that. Okay, and we do want it to auto implement, so we need to set bit 7, which is this one here. And then what we need to do is we load a value in and we store it in FF69. So I'm just going to do some very, very simple testing now. So we're going to load and that's going to have a stupid name as well, isn't it? BCPD. Okay. So this isn't going to actually change anything. Hopefully this is just going to leave the palette exactly as it is at the moment. Okay, and let's see if we change that to bricks on. Does it change to yellow? No. Okay. So this doesn't look like it's happening at all. Do we have to do this at a very specific place? Can we only do this while the screen's off? Hey Gunstar, welcome to the stream, dude. How's the coding going? It's going all right. It's going all right. It's a bit slow, but we're getting there. How you doing, dude? You been streaming tonight? Damn it, if you're here, it means I don't know who to go and raid afterwards. Chiz is still on, actually, so we'll probably end up raiding Chiz if he's not finishing, that is. Okay, why is that palette not changing? I feel like this palette should be changing and it's not doing. Chiz is still on for a raid. Yeah, cool. I'm prepping the store for pickup soon. Cool. Yeah. So I tried today, very unsuccessfully, to... so I've got a Game Boy Advance SP with a backlit screen, which is really nice, actually. I don't even see that. So I really like this. It's a nice little machine, done up in Famicom skin, which is kind of nice. But I picked up this Game Boy Advance Original for $15, for £15, sorry. And I fitted it with a new Famicom style case. And today I tried to put a backlight screen on it, a front light screen on it, and look at the mess I've made of it. I don't know if you can see that. You see all those little white dots all over the screen. So I don't know what I've done. I don't know if that's some dirt underneath the screen or something. But the screen isn't lit up at all. I mean, you can't even see that. I don't know if you can see what's playing on it. Actually, you can just about make out Mario Kart's playing on it, but yeah, I made a right mess of that. Yeah, the Game Boy Advance. It's a really nice. Although I must admit, I got the so I've got a Switch, and I got it banned because I was copying software to it and stuff. So, which is fine. I kind of expected that, and I don't mind buying another system. But I went for the Nintendo Switch Lite, which is this thing here. I love it. It's really nice. It's a little bit smaller than the other one, but it's just the right size. It's really good. And for Super Mario Maker, it's perfect. So I think that I have to say, I think the Switch Lite is probably up there with the best Nintendo consoles ever released. I do like the DS, don't get me wrong, I do like the DS, but I think the Switch is just so much better. It's a much better version of the DS. And a lot more powerful as well. I mean, it runs Doom, for God's sake. Yeah, why are these palettes not working? This should be switching our palette over, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. This should be the palette we want to change. Let's just make sure that this interrupt is happening. Let's do set the screen offset to something ridiculous so it's obvious when it's happening. No tribal tattoos. I do have tribal tattoo. Actually, it's not tribal. Can anybody tell me what game that is from? It's a game. Oops. This one here. This one here. Bonus points if you can tell me what that is. You don't know. That is the StarCraft 2 symbol for Protoss. So I was a big Protoss StarCraft 2 player. And yeah, I've got lots of Vader limbs, so I have and Gaz there as well. No tribal tattoo. Oh, you mean on the Game Boy? I thought you meant me. I got a thing for kind of tattooing weird stuff on my arm, and I have a very obscure font on my arm as well, from Dead Space. So StarCraft was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing Protoss as well. So for me, it was kind of simple, and it was a tribal tattoo that looked like a tribal tattoo, but actually had some meaning for me. It wasn't just the Chinese characters for chicken fried rice or whatever. So I'm quite happy with that flame animation. I just wish the font was changing. Also, I noticed that it's not actually doing the offset now. No, see, no offset there at all. So it's like it's not getting into the V-blank interrupt at all now. So, out of interest, I'm just going to move the font, the palette switch to here and just see if it works. Maybe we don't need that. No, it doesn't anyway. Or maybe there's an error. That's probably what it is, isn't it? Yeah, there's an error, of course there is. I need to fix these things. Interrupts 30, a garbage character. What? Okay, there's nothing there, but if you say so. Garbage character, line 17. Is that not how you do these? You almost got an alliance one. So my girlfriend has on her shoulder here, she has a design that I actually, well, she got the design in black and white and I coloured it in. Gave it kind of, because it looked a bit bland. So it's the druid paw print from Warcraft, with kind of plants and flowers around it. But in black and white, it looked kind of terrible. So I coloured it and then we took it to the thing. And it's about as big as my hand. If you just space your hand out, it's about that big. Looks really nice actually. She's a massive Warcraft player. As in, she plays Warcraft a lot, not she plays Warcraft and she's huge. Okay, why am I getting garbage character? OXE2, what the hell does that mean? That's saying that something on this line is wrong. So let's just delete everything at the end of that line, everything at the beginning of that line. Let's do the same on here. Because he didn't complain about the first one, only the second one. Garbage character. And this is Mickey Mouse. I'm not going to fall into that again. I'm learning what these tunes are now. Okay, I'm going to go and check in here to see what the format is for DW. Count the bits. Oh yeah, that's a good point. 4. I know it's 16. Should be fine. I thought DW was a valid instruction, but maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just thinking it is. Store a list of words, 16-bit. Yeah. Yeah, that should be fine. I don't know why that's not working. Do you know what? Let's do it as 2 separate bytes. That's probably the easiest way. Because if this works now, that's just freaking annoying. Garbage character? Where is it getting this garbage character from? Where's it getting the garbage character from? I don't understand. Well, let's just put some values in here. So let's get rid of these and replace them with actual values. So this would be 10, this would be 4, this would be 4B, this would be 2F, this would be 9, 9D. Yeah, maybe it doesn't, but I'm sure I've done this before, so. A garbage character? Where is it getting that garbage character from? This makes no sense. Oh, no, it's working. Look, it's working now. Let's move the screen over. Yeah, there was just some weird character in the place for some reason. Also, I think these need to be the other way around. Oops. So it should be yellow. Which it is there. Okay, cool. Right, so... Wow, okay, so it's possible to write some characters that it doesn't like for some reason. But do you know what I bet it is? I bet it's because I copied from here. I bet if I copy that from here and just put it as a comment, actually it probably will work with a comment. Yeah, it's worked with a comment. But I bet that's what it is. I bet it's because I copied from the calculator. Okay, cool. So we've got bricks off. There we go. And then basically we need a little random function. So I'm going to go and grab one from... let's grab the one that's in here and simplify it a little bit. So this is our 6502 stuff. Let's grab that. Let's put it in initialize. That's a good enough place as any to put it in. Let's call it random, and then let's work through making it as Z80 compatible. So let's call this random seed. So load accumulator with random seed. Branch of equals. So compare with 0, jump if 0 to do ignore the dot on that, get rid of that. And then shift to the left. So this is sake, I need to look every single one of these up because I do not remember any of the commands. What am I trying to do? Shift to the left. Right, okay. Shift to the left. SLA register rate. Okay, so and then can I do carry clear? Okay, no, you're okay. Shouldn't carry clear. No, that didn't. I'm gonna do that. This is kind of guessing at the moment, but so don't need those two things. Don't need those. Don't need that. Don't need that. And that needs to be ret, and that needs to be load. By do Eeyore, do you mean do harm to a donkey? Sounds like do quite nasty harm to a donkey. Right, there we go. I think this is going to return the accumulator with a random value, but I do need to set that seed as well. So the seed is set to 62. It's very important that you set that initial seed value. I mean, hopefully this works. We'll soon find out if it doesn't. So okay, it doesn't really follow the convention, the naming convention, but it'll do. So call random, and then the accumulator is going to contain either, well, it's going to contain a random value. So if we AND the accumulator with 0, 7, jump if it's 0 to, let's call it bricks on. Otherwise we show the bricks off and return from interrupts. Actually, let's call, God's sake, exit like that. There we go. Jump relative, exit, and then this would be on, which would be the same code. Put bricks on here. Okay, well, we'll find out what happens when we run this. Oh, we get an error. Okay. Initialize 133. Because we need the value at random seed, not the address random seed. Yeah, I feel like that value's never changing, so let's go and have a look in memory and see what's happening to that value. It should be updating randomly. Let's close all of these. Oh, we need to set that back as well, don't we? Let's get that done. We know this is loading now, so no need for this. And let's look at the memory debugger, and we're looking for, God, what's this going to be now? So this is C100, C102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107. So C107. C17 is, no, it can't be right. Because none of our values in here match at all. Wait, how many, oh shit, okay. Should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 plus 7, 16. Okay, so C107 again. All right. Oh, that's better. Right, okay, this is C107. And it seems to be on FF at the moment, so I'm thinking that the random routine is wrong. I will make a small change to the random routine in a minute, which just, yeah, it's wrong, isn't it? It's just always FF for some reason. Okay, that's fine. What I will do in our little random routine, for now, I'm just going to implement it and then store it back. It should be enough just to show, even though it's not random at all, it's just going to be a sequential thing. It'll be enough to make sure that that value is actually changing and affecting. Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. So if we make that random routine work, this should be fine. I think the problem is this thing here, because this is the one I couldn't figure out. So I think... relative jump if condition CC jump. I need the conditions, don't I? Condition codes is not set, so NC that should be okay. And okay, well, it's not failing now. The problem is, I think it's happening way too quickly. So I think we need to check this. So we AND the random number with 7. If it's 0, then the bricks are on. So this should only happen once every 7 frames on average. So if we set this to like 7F, hopefully this is going to happen so infrequently, it's just going to flash on and off now and again. Still happens pretty quickly though. Way less. And that's never happening. What? Well, we can slow it down by using the other technique that we've got in where was it? In here. Where was it? Yeah, let's just copy that. Set the frame ready flag. Okay, and actually we want to do flicker brick palettes. We want to actually do this first before we set the frame ready flag. Already got that up there. Batman. Okay, that's happening very methodically. So I want to go and have a look at what random number is happening, because it doesn't seem like it's random at all. And so it should be this value here. Is that right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's this one here, sorry. I feel like that's not where that random isn't working properly. Let's speed it up a little bit, but I think that's what I need to do. I think I'm probably going to call it a night now. Oh, thank you for the follow, Scanso. I missed that one. Thank you very much, dude. Yeah, I think I'm at the end of the wine now, so I'm going to restore the map flickering between the different screens. We've got this kind of working. We just need to get the random number generator working, which is not going to be a huge thing, I don't think. There might be an easier way of doing it. Maybe there is a random number we can grab from the Game Boy somehow, like using the sound channel on C64. A little bit of Tetris. Everybody knows this tune. But it's looking pretty good. I got most of the animations I wanted to get in. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely the animations from the original game. That obviously needs to be changed to be more random. The font, the palette flickering is kind of nice. That kind of works well. That doesn't mean we've locked down this palette. It doesn't mean this palette can't be used. It just means you can't use this colour in the palette. So if there's something that uses this palette, actually most of the things that use that palette use the brown as well, so I don't think that's possible, like the bricks and stuff. But you could still use this palette and use these top two colours here. So we still have the option to use that palette. But it's kind of looking alright. I'm quite pleased with that. Cool. Alright, I'm going to finish the last swig. I'm gonna have a look at raid. Chiz is still on, so let's give Chiz a raid. I don't know if he's finishing up or not. Okay. No, it looks like he's still going, so let's give him a raid then. Cool. Thanks for joining the stream, guys, and I shall see you on Thursday. So I was gonna do Boulder Dash on Thursday, but I think what I've decided I'm going to do, the transition effect that I want to do for the game on Saturday, I'm going to demonstrate my idea on Thursday, and we'll just make a little demo example of it, and if it works then we'll carry it over to the Saturday stream. So I think that's what I'm going to do on Thursday. Boulder Dash will get done eventually, but yeah. Amiga Wednesday, no. No, I've got enough. Let me make sure I save that project. Call it map 5 because we made some changes. I know I've got source control, but I like to do it anyway. Alright guys, thanks for coming along, and I shall see you all on Thursday. Let's go.